Hello, I'm Darren from Smooth Breakfast, and today is the launch day for Booth's Christmas in the Community campaign with Booths. So I thought we'd get Colin in from Booths to explain a little bit about what exactly it is. Morning, Colin.
Morning, Darren. How are you?
Good, thank you. You're looking very cool today, my friend.
I appreciate that. And it feels really cool being here with you.
Well, that's good. No, I'm good. You're the best person to speak to about this. So what exactly is it, Colin?
Is trying to raise awareness and support local food banks, homeless centres, and just general work in the community to help people in need have a better Christmas with a little bit of care from not only us at Booths, but the rest of the people who work and shop with us in our community.
I suppose we take it for granted, don't we? You know, turkey, mince pies, drinks at Christmas. I mean, this could really make a difference to somebody's Christmas.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think making the difference is a key word there, and you know, I'm really excited that we can make a difference to people who are in need, and I think over the last couple of years, in terms of my involvement with some of the sort of charity work, and particularly food bank, there's been a big uptake in, you know, the need for people to support each other, and as ever, this is all about us human beings doing the right thing for each other. And if we can all look at ourselves and make a small donation, not only as a customer, but us as a business doing our part, it will go a long way to make that Christmas festive period far better for everybody. got a new partnership we're working with, which in Salford, working through our Media City for Food Cycle. Again, it's starting this week for them, and Ian's done a great job of getting that centre in where it needs to be. And they're only starting, they're doing 1 day a week and cooking meals for homeless or families and people in sort of need. And again, that's just going to be, it's just going to be great. And I'm looking forward to paying a visit and sitting down having something to eat with the people that not only they're supporting, and I say this in a lot of ways that I think as a business we do a lot, but there's a lot of people who do a lot more than us, and some people dedicate their lives to it. And I had the pleasure of seeing Lawrence at Ado, who's a big ambassador for the Cornerstones unit in Salford, and he puts his heart and soul and his whole life into it. And sometimes it's really heartwarming when you're sort of with like-minded people who just want to make a difference to sort of people in need.
But it's great, isn't it? The amount of people that you can touch through Booze. I mean, I don't know how many stores that you have across the Northwest. It must be so many.
Absolutely, 28 stores, and every store has got some sort of local partner. Some are more local than others, depending, on the location of that store. But, any customer going to our store, they'll see a food bank stand, they'll see a leaflet, they'll see a handout, they'll see a relationship and that sort of partner with. So, if you're a customer and you want to sort of get involved in this support, you need to go in the store, just ask a question, pick up a leaflet up, and it'll tell you where your local food bank sort of centre is. And, you'll find it is only quite local to the area that you live and where you shop.
That was point 3. Good.
Yep.
Point 4. Tell us what this means to you and Booths.
This is the heartstrings one where we're grabbing people in. Why should they be involved? Why should they donate?
Okay. Yeah. This one will get a bit emotional.
Yeah.
I do. I don't know why.
Tears always work.
Well, yeah, it has been known.
I had a few tears on air before. Right. So am I asking what this means to you, or am I asking what it means to Booths, or both? What would you...
I'd say Booths.
Booths.
Saying, what does this mean to Booths? Because you did talk about already your personal journey.
Yeah, whether that question could be in some way, what does it mean to you? As in, what does it mean to Booths? And then for you to sort of pick up on some of the things I've already said. So, what does it mean to Booths? But I also see this means a little bit more to Booths or to you than it...
Personally.
Yeah, that sort of personal.
And we can get around it like that. Okay.
Yeah, does that?
So tell us what this actually means to Booths, this campaign.
Oh, well, to Booths, I think this means lots to Booths, because I think it's our culture, it's our values, it's definitely what the Booths sort of family believe in terms of helping and supporting others, and I've seen that throughout my career, which has been quite a few years now with the Booths sort of the sort of brand, which has just been a real sort of joy. And this in everything has been, like sort of touched upon earlier, it's been sort of very personal, and I think after the first 6 months of me doing this type of work, you realise that you can't just do it as a job, as a task. You need to emotionally get sort of quite involved in.
It's like your mission, isn't it? It's a mission that you've got.
It is. And I, in the early sort of days, sort of got a little bit downbeat with it all, because I felt I really wasn't doing as much as I probably could have done, because I felt people were doing a lot more than me. And the people who touch your heart, the people who you see, the people you see in need, the young families, the people who really do need help and support from other people, it sort of just changes sort of mind a bit. And, within the Booth sort of family as such, and with all the sort of colleagues who I've met within our stores, both internal and external, I've been sort of warmed by how people get a real sort of sense of purpose to it, and they feel it's the right thing to do. We should be doing this. And it really doesn't take a lot. It's not as though we're asking people to do a lot. Sometimes what we do as a business by donating surplus food, it isn't a big thing for us to do. As well, it's not difficult to me to go to a store and buy some pasta or some beans or a tin of meat and put it on the stand and donate that. And I think, for me, when I've seen it from the start to the end through that whole journey, the difference it does make. And it's trying to ensure that we keep the message out there. And for me, being able to come here and spend some time with you is not only great, but also for me, it's very personal because it's about trying to raise awareness. And the more we can talk about it, the more we can make it on the agenda, the more we can make a difference. And by making a difference to people's lives, for me, is really what it's all about.
I can see how much it means to you as well. I mean, your job sounds fantastic to be able to do this. And it's obviously a very personal thing as well. Also, we've been talking about the campaign. How can people actually help and take part in this?
Well, I would say people can help by buying a food item. And if people want to know what food items, we've got suggestions on the sort of website, the suggestions in the store, and a little bit of a leaflet handout. And it's sometimes just taking a pause in your life and picking an item up and putting it on a stand. Sometimes it's just stopping and talking to somebody in the street. You know, I had breakfast about 2 weeks ago with a homeless gentleman called Rob, and I said I was going to mention him today when I was here with you. And you know, Rob was in Kendal. He was outside the store, and we sat and had breakfast in the cafe together and had a coffee together. And I was really warmed by how much he likes what people do for other people. And it was really funny, and the bit that really made me smile was he has a little Jack Russell. And because he's got a dog, people donate dog food to him. But like he says, I just get too much. So he said, I donate it into the cat and dog appeal that we have in some of our stores, particularly in Kendal. So he donates stuff when people donate stuff to him. And it was only at that point I thought, that's really what it's all about. It's not about really what you've got. It's sometimes about what you give. And, you know, in essence with this, to me, it is all about sort of giving.
So we're asking people to donate items when they're out doing their shop. I mean, the list is online at the moment. So you've got a whole barrage of stuff here, from tin fruit to rice pudding to cereal to chocolate to crackers. There's a whole list that people can donate to this appeal.
Yeah.
And there's full details in the store for this as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it is. I think the list is great. It gives people a sense of purpose and guidance in terms of what
they can give, what you're after.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, anything that you give will make a difference, and that's what I always say to people. And you know, in the sort of early days, and even in the latter days, and just to recall a bit of a story, I had a conversation with a gentleman called Mark Game, who does Bread and Butter Manchester. Really great guy who has been a real good support for me in terms of the work he does, but also the work that I am trying to do. And, you know, what Mark sort of said to me when I said to him, I said, you know what, Mark, I'm really starting to struggle with this because I don't feel I'm doing as much as I can do. And he just put his hand on my shoulder and he said, take a rain check here, Col. He said, just think of all the stuff you are doing, whether it is talking to people, whether it is raising awareness, whether it is going on the radio and making this more of a topic for the people. He said, you do more than you think you do. But he said, always remember, every little bit makes a jigsaw. And we all do a bit here, and we all do a bit there, and ultimately it does make a difference. And, you know, there are times, you know, I've just wanted to go to somebody's house and redecorate it for them, you know, but that's not what we do. You know, we do food. So, you know, what I've learned to realise is we are a food retailer and we can donate food. Customers can buy and they can donate food because that's really what we do. And, you know, we're not social services, we're not housing, but them people and them services are there in the background helping and supporting these people in different ways. So we've got to, you know, just remember this is our piece of the jigsaw and not to worry about other pieces of jigsaw because other people are doing that far better than we could do. But we've got to remember we can do this because this is what we're good at, because that's what we are as a booze brand. We're just a retailer who is great at food and drink, and we make a difference by donating some of the food items that we have.